Derelict Watcher.
All right, Kev, here we go. Map number 3 in this best of 3 series, all tied up. The winner goes on to play against Oz. The loser falls down to play against Hero. Both will be very difficult matches as we are looking on at the red Zerg player spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. It is Scarlett. And, of course, Scarlett's opponent up in the top right. The blue Zerg playing very well on Neoplanet S. It is ViBE.
Both players looked very dominant in the game they won before, and we went over this already a couple of times. It is awesome to see the WCS America champion of 2012 and the one of Canada as well facing off against each other once more. Scarlett, well, actually, I was misreading the drunk. I was like, oh, that's a quick pull, but actually, it's not at all. Scarlett looked fantastic in game number 1. I think she did almost everything right. And it was kind of a one-sided game, and the same can be said for Neoplanet S, but then, of course, on the side from ViBE. Ever since ViBE defended that one push, kind of like how Scarlett defended the Banelings, ViBE was in a fantastic position, and I still really love the way he played it out. Despite taking some fights which were perhaps not the most cost-effective fights, even though probably going to have to give credit to Scarlett for that, because Scarlett, her fight positioning was just excellent. It was still extremely well done by ViBE. The way that he moved his army around the map, the way that he never really sacrificed his mutas early on as well, it was just fantastic. It was really fun to watch.
Yep, he played it by the book, did exceptionally well. He's gone hatch first, into gas, into spawning pool here on Derelict Watcher, favoring a fast expand speedling opening. Scarlett went 15 pool, 15 hatch, or something close to that. Is going to be giving up any sort of tech lead for a couple more drones.
Yeah, she likes to take her gas a little bit later in general.
And I also I subscribe to the Scarlett philosophy. I think later gas in favor of more safety and a better mineral economy. I think it's personally a little bit better, but there are so many Zerg players out there, so many great Zerg players out there like Hyun, who are always going to opt for the faster speed so that they can dictate the pace of the match a little bit better.
Keeping a close eye on the extractor of ViBE right now. He's already researching speed, but still mining a little bit of gas over here. Scarlett on the other end is just dropping her first extractor.
So ViBE may be considering another Baneling play. He's only mined enough gas for the Baneling nest now, and we'll see if it goes down or if he is going to take a little bit more time.
I think on this would also be a map where it would probably be quite good to get an additional queen to snipe off that one overload, because you're pretty much always going to get it. It's not like it has a safe spot anywhere, right?
It is very hard to hide that overlord. Yeah, you know, I can get behind that. We can see that Scarlett is producing that extra queen, but she's able to do it, Kev, because she slowed down the gas income in favor of more mineral. She has extra minerals to afford this extra queen. ViBE doesn't really have that luxury.
ViBE is still mining gas though, and Scarlett scouted this as well, so I do think that Scarlett is once more at least going to try to start some sort of a wall, and then if it's really needed, she can always finish it with additional evolution chambers.
Will I'm a little bit. A spine crawler is my question.
Yeah, I'm sure she will. She scouted it. She checked the extractor.
Yep, there it goes. Spine crawler down for Scarlett. Better safe than sorry, and like you were saying, also rounding out what we like to call the Stefano wall.
But after this, man, ViBE, despite mining a lot of gas, just keeps on droning. He's going to get 10 additional drones, 11 additional drones right now. So he's going to get a very nice work lead, at least for this phase of the game. While Scarlett on the other end is at least a little bit worried.
Preparing for the aggression, putting together her Sim City. Queens can block there, and a couple more Evo chambers.
And leaving this lava as well. You can see that, okay, sure, she could morph them all into drones, but she's just not sure yet. She wants to make sure that not suddenly a ridiculous amount of speedlink scrolls across the map. That is not happening yet, but because ViBE was so greedy, he's going to get a nice economic advantage once more. Ooh. That would have been a very nice maneuver to pull off.
Yep. Cheeky little play from ViBE, but beyond the fact that his little Baneling morphin got shut down, he gets a great scout and he sees the fast layer from Scarlett, and that immediately has to send his brain through a loop. You know, he's like, what in the world is she up to? Is it the same thing we've been seeing where she just gets the +1 roach timing? Or is she the one going for the fast mutas now? So ViBE is no doubt going through that in his mind as he prepares to take his third expansion. Actually, he's not convinced that he's safe, so he's going to make 7 roaches.
9 roaches, even infestation pit going down for Scarlett already.
Oh, that's interesting.
What do you think we're going to see, man?
Certainly all signs point to Roach Infester, which would really show us that Scarlett has played the full gamut of builds here. But
ViBE's still not upgrading to layer yet, by the way. So ViBE's just going to make a ridiculous
Dude,
amount
this
of
is just a
roaches.
bizarre
Slow
all-in.
roaches.
He ran a drone to the third base underneath Scarlett's Overlord so that she would see that, and now he's going to all in her. Now, of course, at this point, Scarlett knows it's coming.
And this is such a massive little changeling by Scarlett, because now she's going to see that ViBE is actually not on lay yet in his natural either. Sure, it's not in his main, but every now and then you see it in the natural as well.
Even more than that, Kev, she sees what's coming out of those eggs. She sees roaches hatching, so it's going to be a big roach speedling all in here from ViBE. Now he has disguised it pretty well, but once again, Scarlett is so prepared with such excellent scouting. I don't think it's going to work.
No, I don't think it's going to work either. Not against those 3 queens. It's a spine crawler behind it. 2 additional spines going up as well. He's getting a lot of banelings as well, so he's once more really going to commit to it, no matter how grim this might look. 37 army supply against 31. There's almost no way, Ben. He's going to lose so much of that army supply immediately, as these banelings won't be able to connect to pretty much anything.
It's all about the banelings.
Maybe kill roach speed?
I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. He's going to try to get right into the crack there and kill that spine crawler, but unfortunately, Scarlett is
beautiful
so well
transfusions.
He's going to drop the transfusions. More roaches and lings are going to stream in, but ViBE, man, a little bit disappointed to see it go this way. Managed to win in the macro game and has now successfully, well, unsuccessfully tried to cheese twice, and I question it. I question it quite a bit.
I mean, he's up a few workers. He's down in army supply. I think if he would have been able to pick up that roach warren, it wouldn't have been all that bad, but going for the evolution chamber instead, what is the HP? It's a little higher on the roach one, so it would have taken some additional shots or some additional banelings. I don't think that would have been bad then, because of course he can see what we see, and he perhaps didn't know that it was so close to finishing or not. But still, if he would have been able to cancel the roach one, that also means that the additional follow-up push by Scarlett, if she wants to make a push like this, would have been much later. That is not the case, however, so instead Scarlett is just going to attack ViBE on the other side of the map. This queen is going to fall immediately. A couple of roaches hatching on a very unfortunate moment, Ben.
Yep, and this one's going to be anti-climax, Kev. Great series out of these two players, but Scarlett's just so good. ViBE will manage to run some lings past into the main base. So if there is a way back into the game, this is it. But ViBE, he has been breached, and it does not look like he has enough to fight this. Scarlett gonna just micro a little bit here, gonna kill as many drones as she can.
Army-wise, it's actually very even. A couple of roaches were a little bit out of position. ViBE might actually be able to kill the main base.
Really good damage. If he kills that hatchery, then things are getting interesting once again.
Challenging Glass being researched as well. I mean, ViBE is gonna kill the hatchery in the natural, which you could eventually say is a better trade because the main is going to run out quicker than the natural. Even though it doesn't make a massive difference in the
Well, he will pick off the layer, which is a big deal, and then he'll be able to get the infestation pit and the spawning pool.
Maybe some additional roaches as well. I mean, every little pickup counts right now.
I don't think he's going to kill any of the attack because roaches will be able to clean this up.
No, he can kill 3 roaches.
No,
not with those. Not with the reinforcements arriving. Scarlett's actually going to retreat as well with the other roaches that did pick up that natural hatchery from ViBE.
Yeah, so craziness here. 70 supply for Scarlett, only 45 for ViBE. I'm really curious to see the worker tab 22 to 19. Am I reading that right?
Yep.
18. So it's...
the best thing is for Scarlett does, he has this additional hatchery as well. So basically she's still up one base. And yes, he lost the layer, but the infestation pit is still here. I think she's going to have to drop some creep, but she will do that.
She lost the layer, yeah.
Oh. That's a good point, man. How are you going to keep this alive?
Well, eventually she'll put a hatchery there. That's probably not her first priority right now. She just wants to make sure that she solidifies her advantage, or maybe she wants to just determine whether or not she has an advantage. A bizarre game. You know, that Ling run by really is the one thing that keeps ViBE back. And now, interestingly, if that Overlord was dropping creep before the layer died, he'll still be able to, but he wasn't. So instead, he just sits here and wishes he could go to the restroom. Wishes he could poop. That's a constipated Overlord.
Oh, it's Overlord's issue. Hey.
Ah! Oh, it feels so much better.
Technology these days. Over here for ViBE is gonna see what's going on in the main. Oh,
that's gross.
Oh, I was hoping that he was gonna run into him. I was like, oh, sorry, there, sir. I did not know you were touching into more.
When an Overlord goes, he really goes. When an Overseer goes, he just drops these little pellets.
42 drones right now for Scarlett, so Scarlett still has an advantage throughout all of this. She should have superior roach upgrades as well, far superior roach upgrades even. It's 2-1 against 0-0, so ViBE knows he's going to have to do something funky, Ben. And he's going to make a swarm host.
I like that choice a lot. That is really cool, in my opinion. Swarm host...
We went over this before.
We have gone over this before, and I think if I may be so bold, the meta has evolved to a point to validate what I was saying. the Swarm Host is a very, very viable layer tech option. I would go so far as to say it's the best thing that Zerg has on the ground. And ViBE is going to kind of fall back on that. Scarlett, in the meantime, what are you going to build, Scarlett? She's still just
macroing up, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, she's in a great
macroing.
position. She has map control. She has more bases. I don't think that she feels that she really has to make something happen. She just has to make sure that she doesn't give this away. If you look at the supply tab as well, of course, that's something that we can see and the players can see. But still, 120 supply against 80. I'm pretty sure that Starcraft has a pretty good feel about it.
Yeah. And Scarlett is now beginning to transition into Swarm Hosts herself, and with a better economy, it stands to reason that she would eventually be able to overpower ViBE.
Nice, we're gonna have the ultimate Braveheart fight with Swarm Host against Swarm Host. I'm loving it.
Swarm Host Broodlord versus Swarm Host Broodlord.
The fight that never ends.
Yeah, it's like Sisyphus pushing the boulder up the hill.
I don't know what are you referring to right now? What is Sisyphus?
He's the guy that his eternal punishment is he has to push a rock up a hill, but it keeps rolling back down, so he has to go back. He pushes it up, and then it rolls down. And
is some sort of magic fairy tale that I'm not aware of?
I think it's from Dante's Inferno.
What is that? I'm lost, man.
Never mind.
Educate me. 7 more drones on the way for ViBE right now. He's going to try to slowly but steady close his work tab, but he is fighting an uphill battle, man. Perhaps kind of like pushing a rock up to a hill.
Yeah.
But what if you're like really strong and you just like throw it all the way over the hill? Doesn't that kind of defeat the moral of the story?
If that were the case, then yes, that would defeat the entire analogy. You're 100% correct. I'm not even sure that I have my reference right though, so I might just be talking smack. Scarlett is on the move though with Roach Infestor Swarm Host, and as you pointed out, Kevin, she has such good upgrades. Not even close. And now that the Swarm Host count is pretty much even, any advantage that ViBE ever had is pretty much gone. And nothing tells that story better than the supply tab. 164 supply for Scarlett, only 108 for ViBE. He is playing from behind.
Both players are playing this out very safe whenever they are ahead. We saw ViBE doing that in game number 2, and we see Scarlett doing it in game number 3 right now. But of course, you can't blame him. A very, very important series. If you win this one, you're going to play against Oz. Now, Oz is an absolutely fantastic Zerg player, but Protoss player, of course. But I think that both of these guys, players, would rather play against Oz than would play against Hero.
That's certainly the opinion I have as well. Hero has a reputation as a Zerg killer, and as perhaps, you know, just the stronger overall player in comparison to Oz. I would still say Oz beating Hero is quite the upset.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, who knows, really. Scarlett is slowly pushing forward, just another small point. Scarlett always so diligent about her creep spread, covering well over half the map at this point. Means she'll be able to reinforce super fast and easily shuts down further expansion attempts from ViBE.
Once more forcing a cancel on this turret base point ViBE, as you pointed out, Ben. Very well done by Scarlett. And I am excited to see Scarlett play ZVP again, because when I watched it last season, whoa, those are some massive fungals by ViBE. Sweet Lord, but most of them are actually on 3 units, so it doesn't truly matter all that much. But it looked very funky. But the last time I saw Scarlett play ZVP, despite she lost back then against Hero, I really enjoyed watching her games. I thought she played fantastic, and it was really fun to see someone being as mobile with Swarm Host as she was in that series. Like, Swarm Host can be a very exciting unit, it can be a very boring unit from time to time, but the way that Scarlett was using it back then was actually really fun and cool to watch. And I'm curious to see if we're going to see that once more, or if she decided to switch up her playstyle by now.
This is an overeager Swarm Host. I want to be a roach. No, just burrow, silly Swarm Host. Okay. He will pop out his locust, and they will do a good job of meeting up with the other locust.
It's so crazy how Swarm Hosts like really snowball in unit count, kind of like Mutalisk in certain point when you play PvZ. Uphill fungo over here by Scarlett, pretty well done. So he's going to be able to pick up a few more units. A lot of free units just fighting each other right now, but at the end of the day, Scarlett has absolute map control, and she's just really returning the favor of what ViBE did to her in the previous game.
Where are the spine crawlers is all I want to know. Yeah. Maybe they'll be coming up soon. ViBE clearly with his back up against it. Look at Scarlett's money. She's got 3,000 minerals, about 1,000 gas. She's completely maxed out. She's taken extra bases, up to 23 Swarm Hosts, which means she can literally contain ViBE indefinitely. There's just There's no breaking out here. ViBE sends out the Overseer to scout out the situation.
Talking about a slow deathmatch. Oh, I like this.
Slow and painful. As
Infested gadget.
how terrifying would this be if like you were at the top of that ramp and you just saw these endless waves of swarm hosts coming at you?
I'd be very scared. You know how afraid I am of insects anyway.
Are those ViBEs?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I said. Infested gadget.
Oh. Do 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 do.
Nothing's happening just now. Kind of an unfair fight. 23 against 13.
Those infestors are not going to try to do anything about the swarm hosts.
Scarlett is really
counterattack.
Is really relying on the free
At this point, I think it's one of those games where Scarlett's having fun and she
Yeah.
doesn't want it to end just yet. She's like, oh, I'm about to have my ultimate army.
I think but that is actually really fun because we both know it. Like every now and then, you know, when you play on ladder and people start hiding buildings around the map, they think that they make you really mad. Well, ViBE is getting the Nidus network, by the way, something we mentioned in the previous game. But at the end of the day, this is not truly going to matter. But it's just like whenever people hide buildings with me, I'm just like, yeah, because I'm enjoying my feeling of victory a little longer. Because we all know how it feels to lose 5-6 games in the blink of an eye. But yeah, if someone takes your time to let you enjoy your victories, you're like, oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. I kind of needed this because I'm still, despite winning this game, I wasn't really feeling it yet. But now I've been winning this game for so long that I'm on an all-time high.
So ViBE's going to base race, Kev, and this is a very interesting development, in my opinion. The Nidus gives him a much more mobile army than what Scarlett has, and if he can get some drones in there, he could, in theory, make this work. Man, that's a
There are 8 Mutalisks.
traffic jam if ever there has been one.
There are 8 Mutalisks on the way map, and there is barely on Ben, and there's barely any NTR in the army of ViBE, so I'm not too sure about it. He does have a couple of queens.
I don't think 2 queens are going to do it against 8 mutas, but
Some trench fuses here. And there.
but a base race is a real threat. The only way ViBE can win this game is if he wins a base race. Those Broodlords are not going to be able to reinforce.
Oh, he still has infestors as well. If they would have energy, then that would be a little bit of NTR too. But at the end of the day, there's just no possible way this is going to work. I would love to try to be really excited, but there's no way.
I don't think it's impossible. I do think it's highly unlikely. But as you can see, these roaches don't die very fast. They got some upgrades. They're going to kill off these buildings.
Same time, we got a couple of infestors taking the third base from Scarlett. Scarlett is losing a significant amount of units here and there, but she's also killing every
she's
single
also killed the Nidus, so there's
remaining
no
build. No, this is the new base from ViBE in Scarlett's natural.
There goes the hatchery. One thing ViBE did not get is burrow. Oh no, he does have burrow. Why isn't he burrowing these roaches? Oh, because there's an overseer. I'm having a conversation with myself.
Happens to me all the time. I love it. And when people ask me why I do that, it's like because the only person that understands me is me. I love talking with myself. I'm great conversation.
These spore crawlers are going to keep the mutas off. So, I mean, ViBE's making a game of it, Kev. It's 86 supply to 150 in a fight, army versus army. ViBE cannot win. Does he have another Nidus exit anywhere?
I don't think he does.
That actually, I think, is what will be the nail in the coffin.
I don't think he's ever going to be able to get close to these 3 Broodlords. If only Swarmos could shoot up.
They used to be able to, man, back in beta.
Like if they're able to stand on top of each other and then shoot up. Like redirect the angle a little bit, like an artillery. You know?
The first time I played with Swarm Host, I'm just like cruising along and an observer flies over my... no, that was a Widow Mine. Observer flew over my Widow Mine and my Widow Mine killed the observer. And I was like, oh, that's pretty smart. But Swarm Host could also shoot up, so a Swarm Host Overseer would just kill everything.
The Terran Adventures of Mr. Binner. How good is your Terran though?
It's probably Gold League.
said the man with no shame at all.
Yeah, that's saying something in today's metagame where Terran's so strong.
Hey, they recently did get nerfed a couple of times. We do see another Spire on the way for Scarlett. Scarlett is just slowly but steady rebuilding his army. And I think she's just really enjoying for how long, and the fact that how long she's actually been winning this game.
I think at this point she's a little annoyed. So come on, ViBE. You're clearly not going to win this.
I don't think she's annoyed. Scarlett doesn't strike me as the type that gets annoyed by winning.
How many kills these Broodlords have is the real question.
8. 8.
Oh.
It's a Slayer, man.
Much less exciting than I thought it would be. Slayer's Broodlord. Infestors find another expansion down in the bottom right, and I don't know if they have enough energy to even kill it. Oh, yes, they do. They definitely do.
Boop. But the Overseer is coming, and a couple of roaches as well. Oh no! The Infestors!
Oh, no, retreat!
It's gotta see it. You can kind of see it. It's really hard to see, but...
Wow, those Infestors actually snuck through. Ninja Squad. What? Really? Now she sees it.
There are a lot of Overlords for Scarlett over here as well. Meanwhile, we still got the battle of the free armies going on. One free army is a little bit more free.
Somewhere there's a swarm host with 900 kills.
21, 22. Oh. Farmers are going to go aggressive against the bootloads right now, while most of these infesteds did get cut out of position as well. 1 or 2 fungals will land, but Scarlett is still ahead with 100 supply. Scarlett is going to win this game, then ViBE will call GG, and Scarlett is going to move on to play against Oz, and I think that's going to be a fantastic series. I'm so excited to see Scarlett as EVP.